The Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission held its Kajiado public hearings at the Maasai Technical Training Institute on 8th December 2011 with Commissioner Tjrc Kajiado presiding, accompanied by Commissioners Berhanu Dinka, Ahmed Farah and Margaret Shava. On behalf of the Maasai elders, John Maitai presented a memorandum on historical injustices facing the community.
We Maasais who live in this area, there is one problem that is disturbing us. This is the sale of land in Kajiado. There's resources, in this case gold or diamond, which is being taken, and it does not benefit the people. There's no benefit that the Maasais have had. There's no benefit. They've never been given even a position in any of the businesses that are run in those areas. Maasais have problems in the far-flung areas. They do not have access to medical services. The women have their children, get their children in their homes. Some of them end up giving birth along the roads as they are trying to look for public transport to get to hospital. Chair, we'd like to urge you, together with your commission, to hear the cries of the Maasai, because for a long time we have complained, we've said a lot, but we do not see anything happening.
James Turere presented a memorandum on the grabbing of land belonging to a communal sheep and goat ranch.
The farm had been rented to the colonial government in 1937. The white man decided to go ahead and take an area that was far beyond where we had agreed, the area that we had agreed upon, and put it in a map, and moved from Kajiado district to bring it to Machakos district. And this is because Kajiado district was what the whites used to call closed district. That means that people are not allowed to move freely. And the problem came in because the map was changed when these people came back, and they found the Maasais living in that land, and they started burning their houses, and they evicted them. And this became another problem. They were forcefully evicted, and their houses were burnt down. And this is because our brothers knew that the white man that we had given the land to, there was no longer a project, but KMC, Kenya Meat Commission, came back and claimed that the land belonged to them.
Hamilton Olesina presented a memorandum on land issues in Kajiado County, summarizing the many challenges residents have faced.
The Maasai community have lost 1 million acres of land to the British settlers under colonialism. And you will find out that upon independence, most communities got back their land. But the Maasai watched in disbelief as the land taken away from them was quickly apportioned to others by the new administration. The Maasais continue to find themselves in the doldrums and are faced by a stark reality of disappearing into oblivion altogether, as whatever remained of their land is continuously and ruthlessly swindled away by swave forces of land grabbing. There is no land grabbing taking place in Kajiado without the hand of the provisional administration. And they have messed us up. They have made sure that impunity rules. So if it can be done away with, the better for us.
Pastor Francis Minor presented a memorandum on Kitengela and the integrated internally displaced persons IDPs.
Within 1 hour, I witnessed my cows being taken, goats, the house that I had built in my youth time. Politics does not come from people from the grassroots, but those people are vying for posts, the MP. Just a person, normal citizen can be told to take 150 shillings to just go and kill a person. Such incidences and conflicts should not relapse again in Kenya.
John Jau narrated the experience of IDPs from Kugeria.
Kajiado North, they had burnt about 6 houses. And a place called Emagugu, still in the same village, they burnt about 19 houses. So that night, on the night of first, when we were coming back to the morning of second, they had burnt about 15 houses. We went to the human rights office, so we took our complaint there. And we were given a letter which would give the commission and the letter to give to the PC in Nakuru. So we went to the PC, and on 20th, we were talking with the PC. The PC then sent us back to the DC at Gong and Saitoti. So we left Kirathimo because our aim was to get help. And we came back and we went to him. And when we arrived at his place, he gave us 10 sacks of maize. And he told us that, that our issues were going to be looked at and were going to progress.
Mary Wanja told the Tjrc how her rights to property had been systematically and repeatedly violated.
My dad and my brother were burnt in the house. And then followed my mom. When I came to Kiserian, there was no one to support me. I just came like that. And I went to Saitoti's office. And they took down my names. And even when they were writing my names and where they were after my mother had died, I didn't even have a place to bury her. I threw her in Gong Forest because I didn't have otherwise. My children were in school. Today they would have cleared school, but they went back in terms of classes because of the war effects. For me, what I saw where people were burnt, I can never go back there because I witnessed how the war was.
Healthcare, property rights, female genital mutilation, education and leadership dominated the Women's Only Forum, with women calling for concerted efforts to empower them. The forum, which was presided over by Commissioner Tjrc Kajiado, was held at the Anglican Church of Kenya in Kajiado.
We also have to find ways and means to bring awareness to women on some of the things that they are entitled to do or can do. We are going to make recommendations, and these recommendations are going to be mandatory. What this means is that every 6 months, the Minister of Justice is going to report to Parliament on how far the government has gone in implementing the recommendations of this commission. When you came in, you found that door behind you open. It's not 100 people who opened that door. It just took one person to open the door. and you all came in. And it is the same with choosing good leaders. One good leader will open a door, and a lot of you will benefit, and opportunities will be created, and your voice will be heard.
Agnes Kakai lamented about the poor state of healthcare in Kajiado.
I can also speak about the pregnancy and children, because the major effects of the women. You find that the woman has no knowledge about all the issues. She just knows that when you deliver, you have to take the child to hospital. You find also the infrastructure, the roads that they are supposed to use from the interior parts up to town, it's not possible. There's no means of transportation. You find that it's very difficult, even the woman, to access the medical services from the residential place up to the town.
Grace Mainga highlighted the women's plight when it came to property rights.
Mostly the land was being sold, and it's because the women are not involved by their husbands. Sometimes the farm is so big, and then the husband has been selling until it is being finished, and the woman tells the husband that you are not supposed to sell the land, but the woman does not have a voice. A lot of cases I've seen, even in the offices, a woman struggling to make sure, even if she goes to the chief and it goes to that place, but you'll never know how the case has continued. But you'll find one day the farm has been sold. For me, I was asking the Tjrc to help us, because the farms are being finished and the husbands continue to sell the lands, and there is nothing productive that they are doing.
Teresia Naisei recounted the desolation and dilemma she faced following her husband's decision to abandon her and their children.
My husband, the firstborn of that homestead, also left, and when he saw how the community was having a lot of problems, she left and he went to Tanzania. He ran away to Tanzania. So the farm that was given to me, I have not gotten a title deed, and I'm told since my husband is still alive, I don't have the responsibility to take care of that farm, so I also have that problem.
Esther Mwilie decried a woman's lowly place within the Maasai community.
They can even take one razor blade and they use it to circumcise 2 or 1 girl. And I told them in that way of sharing the facilities, it can bring a spread of diseases, and it can affect the child. And also profuse bleeding, a child can bleed a lot and be affected.
Jennifer Mwihaki, a human rights activist, deplored gender-based violence in Kajiado.
Her husband followed her to the river, tied her hands behind, and this woman was 7 months pregnant. She tied her on a tree. She beat her and caned her until she died. There is a time even a man comes into the home and he does not even want to speak to you. You try to speak to the man, but he doesn't even want to speak to you. That person makes even you have a heart problem. Sometimes you are trying to say that you are trying to make tea, and in the process of making tea, you take salt and put inside the tea, thinking that it is sugar. I know 6 cases that I've taken to the division with the help of the DC and the DO, the succession and inheritance, because I, as a woman, as a girl, I don't have the right to inherit, but I followed up on the right until I saw that those girls, they have inherited.
I would like to assure you that this commission is going to use the powers that it has to make the correct recommendations with regard to the stories that you have told us. We recognize that it is very painful to have to relive those terrible stories, but we thank you for coming here today to give us this information, because it will help us to do our work.
Next week on the Tjrc Roundup, we move to the Coast region. Selected witnesses shall speak on a broad range of violations and events within the mandate of the Commission, including historical injustices relating to land, illegal and irregular allocation of land, politically instigated violence, post-election violence, women's rights, socio-economic rights, and marginalization. The Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission, promoting peace, justice, national unity, dignity, healing and reconciliation among the people of Kenya.